Today I have a special guest with me. He's a spoken word artist, a recent author. He's going to be one of our number one best-selling authors in Ghana. And he's also, what do you also do? A poet. You do poetry.
Yeah, I do poetry. Yeah.
So I'm going to let him introduce himself to us.
Okay. So hi everyone, and first of all, it's great to be on your channel. Yeah. So my name is Nii Lante. I happen to be a writer, spoken word artist, and the author of my book Conquer, my first book. I also happen to be a leader. So I serve in my church as the youth vice president, and I also serve as the president for Scribes Global, which is Scribes Poetry and then Scribes Worship. So this is what I find myself doing at this age. Yeah.
Okay, at this age. Do you want to tell us how old you are?
No.
Okay,
no.
so
But I'm very young.
Yeah, he is very young.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nii, which senior high school did you attend?
I attended St. Augustine's College. So shout out to all my seniors.
Yeah. And I went to Holy Child, so I've seen
Hopstar.
We have some nice
Actually, in Kutan.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do. So once you're on this channel, it means that we are going to talk about something mental health related.
Sure.
Yes, and I would like you to tell us your experience with when it comes to your mental health. Have you always had a very great mental health, like from your childhood till now?
Okay, so I was quite new to the whole topic of mental health and all that till recently, and like I said, I happen to be a leader, so I started Scribes. Okay, so Scribes is a book poet. We do poetry and then is a worship ministry as well. So I started that in 2017. Okay, I think I should explain. Let me go a little back.
Sure.
So when I was I completed SHS in 2013, and at that point I became quite serious with Christ. That's when I became serious with Christ. So after school through to university, I was just being radical. Let me put it that way. Just following Christ. I wanted to know more about life, what I can do, and how do I impact my generation. Right. So God, through the process of following, I happened to discover that I have a gift of writing. So that led to the establishment of Scribes.
Okay.
But then we started active ministry in 2017. So that's when the problem started. I really didn't know much about handling a group, like in terms of financing, like when you want to finance an event, how to sustain a vision, like all these things. I really didn't know much about it. So when we were and that was during my national service time when I completed university. So 2017 is actually when we started like the ministry itself, in terms of our events and all that. And like I said, I was very new to all this, so I really didn't know much. So when we're about organizing our event, I thought that when God gives you a vision, like He gives you a dream, that do this, and then you just get the money, like you just get everything falls in place for you. Because I had been fasting, I had been praying, I've been preparing for this. The thing, I actually had a vision of Scribes in 2015 before I started in 2017. So between 2015 to 2017, I was learning under some people, some leaders. All right. So I was in Mass Theater. I was here, listening to people, learning. So I thought I had known enough to be able to like just start things.
Okay.
All right. So when things were not going as I'd imagined, I became very worried. So money was not coming. Problems in the ministry started, and we had to organize our first events. That was a drama studio, like on the ETS drama studio. We had to organize our events there. Even to get the venue was like
stressful.
It was stress. And there's a case where even through university, I had to support myself at some point in my fees and all. Even some friends had to help me and all that. So coming off school wasn't like an automatic switch into you having money just like that. So I personally didn't have enough cash to foot some of the bills. So I was really worried. So depression didn't start just like that. I think what in my mind it was more of a process. It was series of events. You understand? So events about happening, and then I don't know what is happening. Like I just don't know where I'm going. Like where am I getting the money? What we do? Like, and then challenges. So someone call you, I'm opting out. Someone, you've got a deal, then the person calls you, I'm opting out, and then you have a few days to the event, and then at that time service also started. All right. So there was a lot of pressure on me, and I had left home. That I can explain at that time. So I left home too. So it was
You were all on your own.
I was just all on my own. I was staying on campus then. I was just all on my own. How to? So I thought I was making mistakes. All right, I thought I was making. So that's where like I was.
You thought it was from you.
From me. So I was thinking like, is this like God's will? Like, am I making a mistake? What didn't I learn? Like, because I thought I prepared myself for this. I can be, when we started national service, the orientation period, I can't even concentrate. Like, I just felt like God was not with me. You understand? Because I put my trust in Him to the extent that I thought He would come through for me. And then here was the case, was not coming through. And I'm praying and I'm fasting, and then there's nothing happening. All right. So I felt like literally felt God was dead to me. You understand? I literally felt God was dead to me. So my issue would be more spiritual, So those people who happen to, the Christians would probably relate more with my issue. So I thought God was dead. Like, He was absolutely silent on my case. Like, nothing is happening. I need money, and someone wants to get a venue, and this is happening, and my siblings, and then family issues. And then, so like, it actually took a toll on me that I had to just call back into my shell. All right, I feel like, okay, Charlie, there's nothing like God. I actually came to that point where like there's nothing like God. Let me do everything by my strength, what I can do. So I realized that was actually putting me into that state of overthinking, where I didn't feel like belonging. Like I didn't have that sense of belonging to the people, to my family, to even my workplace. I'm just there. During break time, I just want to go out to go and be somewhere. Like I'll just go and this. I just didn't want self-isolation. That company, like I was overthinking. Like I was really overthinking. The days I'll just, instead of taking car, let's say I used to work at North Kanishi. So North Kanishi to my small, I just walk. I won't take car, I'll just walk and just be thinking like, what is it about all these things? Like, we want to promote the kingdom, yet we are not getting the funds that and God knew our hearts. So why is God not responding? I'm saying, I was then young. All right, so that's the perception and the mindset I had. That's not how God is. Yeah. So I was just in that space where like I didn't even want to talk to anyone. If I don't want to talk to God, I wouldn't want to talk to you, because you're not giving me the money, first of all, and I'm not okay with it as well. Like, it doesn't do anything to me at that time. All right, so I didn't want to talk to people. I didn't want to talk to God. In fact, I almost wanted to stop anything I was doing in church. All right, I just wanted to just be alone, because I didn't see the value of life itself. Because really, when you complete school, that's when you actually start seeing the value of life. I didn't really see the value of life itself, and I made some mistakes out of passion, and such that I put all my hopes in this thing that I was doing. So it really put me in that state where I didn't see the sense of talking to someone. Right? I didn't see the sense of talking to God. I was just alone. Like, I was just quiet, just be quiet. Sometimes I go to the beach and just be crying. Like, I'll just be there, just be crying. So I just realized that now that I was not being myself. Like, because when I get to the beach, sometimes the thoughts that I would say, just go into the sea. I don't really know how to swim. I just ended all like that suicidal thought. It wasn't so serious, but then it happens. It does occur. You understand? You didn't really see the essence of life right in there. So it was I think I was trying to find myself back. So I started listening to, I just asking questions about these experiences. Like, why am I going through this experience? And then I came across a term called depression and all this, and I realized that, okay, this is what you are going through. It may not necessarily be clinical depression, but the symptoms were there. They showed that this was what I was going through, and it was really tough for me, really, really tough.
Okay, so how did you overcome depression?
Okay, so this is what I did. So when you look at, because I'm a Christian,
we are Christians.
Okay, so we're all Christians. Yeah. So you learn from Saul and David's story that when Saul was possessed, right, to some extent you can even say depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. David had to play the harp, right, and then the demon would leave. So I believe in the tool, music as a tool to liberate us when we're going through certain things, and that's conscious music. It's music that the lyrics can speak to our situations. So one thing I did was to listen to music a lot, consciously listen to people who were talking about what I was going through, right, helping me with.
Can you give some examples?
So you can look at, I listen to music CD. Music City, that's his name. Jonathan McReynolds.
Okay.
I listen to Hillsong. I listen to Israel. Yeah, a couple of other gospel musicians. But these are people who whose songs really inspired me and took me through that process. So it was more of me listening to those songs, and then as well as sermons and books as well.
Okay.
Then it gave me a better understanding of how God works, how God operates, and all this. So it was, I think, for me personally, it was more of music. I'll just go listen to music, and it really inspired me. And I also listen to watch other people who have made it. All right, so I can listen to other people. I can listen to stories by Albert Okran. I can listen to that stuff, and then it sparks me. Oh no, people have actually gone. Uncle Ebo White can write, and then you may think he's just writing on Facebook, but he's actually writing for me. Right? He tells you a story how he was able to organize his first event, and only 15 people came, and how he made a loss. But I said, oh, nah, it's actually part of the process. Okay, so these things kept encouraging me, and then I eventually had to switch from that state of me not wanting to talk to anyone, not wanting to be among people, to me wanting to share my story to inspire other people.
Okay, so from the time you were depressed to overcoming, like, what was the time frame? Was it months?
It was actually months. Okay. So we started service around September or so.
2017.
Around September, yeah. I should think. The whole phase of depression actually set in before September.
Okay.
So September, when I started work through to December, I think it was actually the following year that I was becoming
depressed.
No, I was becoming better.
Okay.
I was actually depressed even before September.
Okay.
So September, October, November, December, I was actually the following year that I was like actually becoming. So you can say 4 or 5 months.
4 or 5 months. Okay.
4 or 5 months, yeah.
But did anyone notice that you were depressed?
I don't think so.
No one noticed.
I don't think so. What happens is that, like I said, I didn't want to be among people. All right. So you hardly find me in some spaces. Like I told you, I'm not home at the moment, so I'm somewhere. Okay. People don't know where I am, but I'm somewhere. All right, and I'm just there. Okay. I'm just there. Where I currently am, there's a beach there. So I wake up, I just go to the beach, have my time with God. It's coming. So people didn't notice it.
Okay. They just thought you were fine.
Because I just put up. And one thing, because I was the leader, I had to be strong. Even though I was breaking down, I had to be strong in front of the people. I just had to be strong. So like people that I'm acting strong and all that. I was really, really breaking down.
Okay. So Nii, why do you think that people didn't notice you were breaking down?
I think because of how I put myself out publicly.
But your family, like people who were very close to you, should have known.
Well, like I said, I wasn't home.
Okay, so they were not seeing. But if they were seeing you,
they would have noticed that, yeah,
you were depressed.
Yeah. Okay. So I wasn't home. Like I was just on campus, and I was on campus with a friend.
Okay.
All right. So he would tell. He would. I'm sure he would have noticed that Nii Lante is like not really feeling like himself. But the rest, I doubt, because I was not home. I was either I was on campus or I'll come back to my friend's place. That was my friend who I was staying with. So people really didn't see me.
Okay. So since you went through that experience, have you come across other boys or men who have also shared their experiences of depression with you?
Yeah. So by God's grace, I happen to serve as a youth leader in some groups. All right. So people open up about some of the things they are going through. Your members will open up about what they are going through, and then they share stories of depression, right? And that's when you see how you are able to encourage them, because you have a story. You have a personal story. So sometimes some of my members come up to me and then issues about home, all right, and maybe the academics. A lot of people suffer academic. I don't know if you call it academic depression. I don't know. Yeah, but a lot of people do suffer from that. So you just need to like really encourage them. Some people come in sometimes in relationship as well. I mean, you have some bits of
broken hearts
of that, and then you just need to be able to encourage them. That's the beauty of it. I feel that sometimes, God makes us pass through certain things to be able to have stories to inspire others. All right, that's what I believe. me. So anytime I'm going through something, I'm concerned about the reaction, right? I shouldn't just break down. Like it's to inspire millions, it's to inspire nations. But I know God is bringing me to that point where my stories, my books, my words could inspire people. All right, so I really I make sure I'm strong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
That's it.
So, since you overcame depression, are there times you feel you are sliding back into
Yeah,
depression?
yeah. So okay, let me this is more like an icebreaker. All right. So I'm actually working on my second book.
Okay.
So I'll just share a bit of it. The second book is to talk about how I found my purpose
Okay.
and how it has been for me, like handling scribes, working on the book from absolute like zero budget. All right,
Okay.
that whole process. So example, this year I launched my book, and in that same week, 2 weeks prior to 2 weeks prior to the book launch, I had our events at Scribes on Sports. So I put in a lot of money, I put in a lot of money, and then I had not necessarily like expectations, but I did like that. Okay, I'll be able to get this money at the land to go to sort these people, sort this people, and then it happened, and then it wasn't like as I had planned. So like, oh Jesus Christ, like I thought this was like the breakthrough because I've been supporting since
Yeah.
2017. Like we don't seek sponsorship and all this, so it's more like personally,
Yourselves.
So 2020, I felt like the story would change
Change.
for me, and then the book launch happened, and like still. So I realized that I noticed that I was
All of a sudden.
going back, but I had to encourage myself not to like go in. And it starts as this, or it's the effects are like this. You wouldn't want to do the things of God, you'll not be encouraged. Like I've always prayed to God that okay, you know what, I would love to just serve as a member than a leader, where I don't have to, find this resources to this. I just they are going here. I'll pay dues. Like there's not much burden on you, all right, than you being at the forefront where there's so much burden and then you don't know what you're doing. So it's not. It happens. It does happen. Almost every time the events are over, like probably find myself going back into that space, right? But I just need to encourage myself.
So you immediately notice the
I
symptoms
immediately
that
noticed the symptoms that this was happening, like, and I would just have to encourage myself and then change my motive that I did this as a love gift. Like it's my love. It is me saying that God, I love you, even if I don't get the money. It's me saying that like God, I love you. I'm dumping not dumping, but I'm giving you my 10,000 CDs.
Okay.
Right? So I had to come to that place of saying that it is me. It is out of love. I'm doing everything. I don't expect anything back. Whether I reap the fruit or not is out of love. So yeah,
those are your strategies.
Yeah, those are my strategies. Just to immediately change my motive about it and to just encourage myself. I also look at the future. I also see that I'm not boasting, but I make sure I see that I always see that I have a great future. I just use that to encourage myself. Like I don't, so that it doesn't make me want to
Get
get discouraged as well. So it does happen. Like there are moments where like you've invested, like you've put in your efforts, and mind you, you're a man, you're growing.
I thank God I'm not a man.
Mind you're growing, and the people your mates are. I don't compare, but your mates are picking good investment moves, and then here's the case, you're just here, and then
Sometimes you feel like you're making a loss. Yes.
something like that. So it puts you in that state, like that. I really just have to encourage myself that it is my love gift to God.
So for anyone out there, any man or boy who's watching, who feels depressed, feels alone, what would you like to tell that person?
Okay, so first of all, I think that one thing we need to understand is that God loves us more than we think He does. All right, that He would put us into something that He would distance the relationship between Him and you. So I want that to be the first mindset, that God loves you more than anything, more than you can even imagine. If maybe your family is not reacting to you well, it's because you are depressed because of your family. I want you to understand that God really loves you, like more than you can imagine. And then again, there are people who are willing to hear your story. There are people who are willing to support you. There are people who are willing to help you in your situation. Sometimes the difficulty is how to reach the people, right? How to connect to the people. So there are people who are you don't even know, but people are praying for you. People are supporting you from afar and also. So I just want the person to understand that first of all, God loves you, and then there are people who are willing to support you, people are willing to help you, and people are willing to encourage you out of the situation. Secondly, thirdly, I also say that whatever you are going through, okay, people have made millions of their experiences out of their experiences. All right, so someone goes through a phase. Apostle Selma goes through a phase. His story is encouraging millions. So there's a purpose for you going through that fire. So whatever you're going through that's making you depressed, you can always take out the lesson in it. All right, you can always take out the lesson in it. I don't believe that God will just leave us
To suffer.
to suffer. I feel like I believe that there are always lessons in whatever we go through. What are the lessons that you're going through? And allow the emotions to work. Right? But don't allow the emotions to control you. Cry when you have to cry. All right. Cry when you have to cry, but don't let it control you. That's always you are.
You're always
You're
crying.
always crying. And make sure you talk to someone as well. Talk to other people who can pray with you, who can help you. I help people in that space. Like I really pray for people. I really help people. So if you can just reach out, let's see what support we can do to help you.
Thank you so much, Nii Lante, for joining us on this episode. You'll see me once again in another episode. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.